Hello, my son. Hello, my daughter. I want you to listen with heightened attention to what I'm going to say to you this morning, because this is not just another word among many. This is a sign, a warning, a direct touch from heaven to your heart, and you know it. You feel it inside you, even if you don't yet understand everything. The way this message came to you, the exact moment you are hearing it, what is happening around you. None of this is coincidence. I am the God who speaks in many ways, and today I am speaking to you clearly, urgently, with love, because you need to hear before making decisions you might regret, before you get completely lost among the voices of the world, the pressures of life, the wounds that have not yet healed. Do not ignore this sign. It did not come by chance, it came from me. Son, daughter, how many times have you asked for an answer? How many times have you knelt with tears saying, Lord, speak to me, and here I am speaking. And yet your mind tries to rationalize, to doubt, to postpone listening to what your spirit has already recognized as truth. I have not come to scare you, but to awaken you, because you are too distracted, too busy, too hurt. And that is why you have ignored the gentle touches I have been giving you. The dreams, the warnings, the painful silences, the doors that do not open, the people who walk away. All of that was part of my call, but now I can no longer whisper. I need to speak more firmly, because I love you, and when I love, I intervene. I interrupt the path of deception, even if it hurts. I break the cycle of destruction, even if you don't yet understand why. Today I speak to prevent you from walking into a place where my presence will not accompany you, not for lack of love, but for lack of permission. You have been carrying weights that are not yours. You have embraced lies that never came from my mouth. You have settled for little as if it were everything. You have been silent where you should have cried out. You have given up where you should have stood firm. And that is why I have come to remind you that there is still time, to remind you that this path you are on now, the path of confusion, of weariness, of stagnation, is not the end. I am still here. And if I am still here, there is a solution, there is a way out, there is hope. But you need to respond to this sign with more than emotion. You need to make decisions. You need to reposition yourself spiritually. You need to return to me with a whole heart, not just with your lips. I don't want to be only your strength on the bad day. I want to be your father every day. Remember the words I have already spoken over your life. Do I lie? Do I regret? No, son. No, daughter. I am the same who fulfills what I promise. But many times it is you who interrupts the process, who diverts the route, who gets lost in anxiety and tries to force with your hands what can only be done with mine. And when that happens, what was a blessing becomes a burden. What was a miracle turns into confusion. What was a promise becomes a constant struggle, because you are trying to carry something I never asked you to carry. Today I want to lighten your load. I want to free you. I want to open your spiritual eyes so you see what is really happening. Because there are things that seem good, but take you away from me. There are paths that seem right, but lead to the abyss. There are people who seem like gifts, but are distractions. And if you ignore this, you are ignoring my voice. I speak to you now as a father who loves deeply, but also corrects, like a potter who needs to break the misshapen vessel to rebuild it with beauty and purpose. Like a shepherd who leaves the 99 to go after the one that is lost. You are that sheep. You are that arrow I have prepared but has not yet been launched, because your heart is still divided, because there are still alliances in your life that must be broken. There are sins that must be confessed. There are relationships that must be closed. There are habits that must be buried. And I tell you this not to shame you, but to heal you, to restore you, because as long as you ignore this sign, you will continue living a superficial gospel, a fruitless faith, a tired and lifeless spiritual routine. But today, if you listen to me, everything can change. Son, daughter, this is your moment. This is your opportunity. From here on, either you take a step toward the center of my will, or you will continue living on the margins of it. And that has consequences, because time is passing and you know it. You feel something urgent in the air, a movement happening in the world, and you can no longer pretend not to perceive it. I'm separating, purifying, raising up those who have ears to hear and courage to obey. Are you among them, or will you keep hiding behind excuses, busyness, masks? I created you to fly high, but you have settled for crumbs. I called you to walk on water, but you keep drowning in shallow puddles of fear, doubt, and unbelief. And that has to end today. Do not ignore this sign, son. Do not let your logic convince you to postpone repentance. Do not let your flesh keep you chained to old cycles. You were not created for that. You were conceived for heaven, for eternity, for glory. But that begins now when you decide to open your soul and let me truly enter. I don't want just a space in your schedule. I want to dwell in you, govern your life, be the center, the all, the only one. Because only then will you be whole. Only then will the emptiness that consumes you be filled. Only then will your house have peace, your mind rest, and your soul direction. And if you ask, but why now, Lord? Why so much urgency? I tell you with love and firmness, because time is short and windows of heaven are opening today that will not remain open forever. Because there are moments that are kairos, divine time, time of intervention, and you are living one of those moments now. Do not deceive yourself thinking everything can be resolved later when you feel more prepared, more stable, cleaner. I do not call you when you are strong. I call you now with your trembling hands, your tired eyes, your heart full of questions, because I am the God who begins the work amid chaos, who lights the darkness, who builds even on ruins. You have prayed for something new. You have cried with tears for change, for healing, for direction. But I tell you the truth. There is no newness where there is no surrender. There is no renewal where there is still resistance. You must surrender, tear yourself apart, let go, leave behind. You must die to the old so the new can live. And today I have come to offer you that newness, not as a distant promise, but as a possible reality right now. I have come to renew you completely inside and out, to erase marks you thought eternal, to lift your head when you had already given up on yourself, to clothe you with new garments, to place you in a high place, to fill you with my spirit and send you out with authority, purpose, destiny. I have come to activate in you what was asleep. But that only happens when you decide, when you run to me without reservations, when you break with old structures and allow me to cleanse. Start over, rebuild. Wanting is not enough, you must act. You know what needs to be left behind. I've already shown you in silences, in losses, in unanswered prayers. Do you know what is stopping your growth? That which you hide even from yourself, but that screams in your soul. Do you know what is killing your intimacy with me? Distractions, broken alliances, places you keep frequenting, even knowing they take you away from my presence. So do now what must be done. Tear your heart before me. Do not put more patches on torn garments. Come whole, come true, come naked if necessary, because I cover you with grace. Return, run to my arms before it is too late. Do not keep postponing the reunion with your essence. Do not wait for pain to scream louder to realize this call is real. You know it is me who speaks. You feel in your chest that these words are not ordinary. They pierce your understanding and touch your soul because they have come directly from my throne. Do not ignore this sign, because this is the sign you yourself asked for. You said, Lord, if it is you, speak to me clearly. And here I am tearing the veil, removing all doubt. This is the cry of heaven amid your confusion. This is the divine whisper between the lines of your pain. It is the answer to your silence. It is the outstretched hand in the middle of your drowning. It is my voice saying, come son, come daughter, return. I call you back not to a place of judgment, but to a place of healing. I call you to life, not survival. I call you to holiness, not religion. I call you to the center of the promise where everything I have told you is fulfilled with power. But you need to want it. You need to believe. You need to rise. Tomorrow is fragile. Human opportunities run out, but now is sacred. It is your opportunity for redemption, for response, for reunion. Do not play with this, because this word is like a trumpet in the spiritual world. It is shaking structures, breaking resistances, opening portals that were closed. If you believe and respond with surrender, I will make the impossible manifest. And when you take that step, when you truly surrender, do not worry about what comes next, because I will be here, present, constant, holding you, guiding you, restoring you completely. I will renew your mind, heal your wounds, cleanse your name, restore your dignity, realign your identity with what I have always dreamed for you. I will make of you what the world never imagined, what even you had stopped believing was possible. Because I am the God who resurrects dreams, who rebuilds callings, who cleans the dust from the soul and makes life bloom where there were only thorns. Because eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, nor has it entered the heart of man what I have prepared for you. And it is not just a distant promise, it is a spiritual reality about to manifest. It only takes one response from you, one attitude, one surrender, It only takes a yes that springs from the deepest part of your spirit, and the whole heaven will move in your favor. I will send angels, break chains, move hearts, rewrite stories, but you need to say, "Here I am." Now decide, because I've already decided, and my decision is irrevocable. You are mine from your mother's womb. From your first breath of life, I marked you with my eternal love. You are my son, you are my daughter, and I will never give up on you, neither today nor ever. My beloved son, my cherished daughter, as you stand at this crossroads, I want you to understand the weight of the choices before you, not as a burden, but as the gateway to freedom. The decisions you make today will echo far beyond the hours you live now. They will shape the landscape of your soul, the trajectory of your destiny, and the legacy you leave behind. This is why I speak so clearly, so tenderly, and yet with such urgency. You have been invited into a sacred partnership, one where your will and mine are not in conflict, but in harmony. Yet this harmony is fragile and requires your deliberate attention. It is not enough to desire change. You must cultivate it. Change is a garden that demands planting, watering, and pruning. It is not a sudden bloom, but a slow unfolding of grace and discipline working together. Look closely at the areas of your life where you feel stuck. These are not random obstacles, but divine signposts pointing to what must be addressed. Perhaps it is a relationship that drains your spirit rather than nourishes it. Maybe it is a habit that dulls your sensitivity to my voice. Or it could be a mindset, a belief you have held onto that no longer serves the purpose I have for you. Do not dismiss these as mere inconveniences or coincidences. They are invitations to deeper awareness. When you feel resistance, discomfort, or confusion, lean into these moments. They are the soil in which transformation begins. It is in the tension of these experiences that your faith is tested and strengthened. I know you have fears. Fear of failure, rejection, loneliness, and the unknown. These fears are real, but they are not your captors unless you allow them to be. I am the one who breaks chains, who calms storms, who lights the path when darkness surrounds you. But you must reach out your hand and trust me enough to take it. Trust is not blind. It is born from experience and relationship. Reflect on the times I've carried you through trials, the moments when hope seemed lost, but a door opened unexpectedly. These are the footprints of my faithfulness. Let them be the foundation upon which you build your courage today. You may wonder, how do I begin this journey of surrender and renewal? It starts with honesty with yourself and with me. Lay bare your heart, your doubts, your desires, your wounds. Do not hide behind masks of strength or pretenses of spirituality. I see you fully and I love you fully. Next, embrace the discipline of daily communion. This is not a ritual, but a lifeline. It is in the quiet moments of reflection, prayer, and listening that your spirit is aligned with mine. Here, clarity is born and your steps become sure. Guard this time fiercely, for it is the wellspring of your strength. As you grow in intimacy with me, you will begin to discern the subtle whispers of my guidance. These may come as impressions, dreams, or sudden insights. Do not dismiss them as coincidence or imagination. They are the language of the Spirit speaking to your heart. You will also encounter opposition, not only from external forces, but from within. Old patterns, doubts, and fears will rise to challenge your progress. This is natural. Remember, the refining fire is not meant to destroy, but to purify. Stand firm, knowing that every battle fought with me strengthens your character and faith. Community is another vital element in your journey. You were not created to walk alone. Seek out those who encourage, challenge, and hold you accountable. Be willing to be vulnerable with trusted companions. In the shared journey, burdens are lighter and victories sweeter. Yet be discerning. Not every voice is from me. Learn to test what you hear against the truth of my heart. If a word or counsel leads to confusion, fear, or division, set it aside. My voice brings peace, clarity, and unity. As you continue to walk this path, you will find that your purpose becomes clearer. This purpose is not merely a task or role, but a divine calling that aligns your gifts, passions, and experiences with the needs of the world around you. It is the reason you were formed and the legacy you are to leave. Do not be discouraged if this purpose is not immediately apparent. Growth is a process, and sometimes the journey itself is the preparation. Trust that I am weaving all things together for good, even when you cannot see the full tapestry. In moments of doubt, remember that your identity is not defined by your past mistakes or current struggles, but by who you are in me. You are beloved, chosen, and equipped. Your worth is infinite, and your potential boundless. You may feel the weight of expectations, your own and those of others. Release these burdens into my hands. I do not demand perfection, but a willing heart. I do not measure success by worldly standards, but by faithfulness and love. As you embrace this truth, you will discover a peace that surpasses understanding. This peace will guard your heart and mind, even amid trials and uncertainties. It will be a refuge and a source of strength. Remember also that rest is part of the journey. Do not fall into the trap of relentless striving. I have designed rhythm into your life, seasons of work and seasons of rest. Honor these seasons, for they sustain your soul and refresh your spirit. Your journey will also involve forgiveness, both receiving and extending it. Forgive yourself for past failures, and forgive others who have wronged you. Unforgiveness is a heavy chain that binds your heart and blocks the flow of my grace. As you release these chains, you will experience freedom like never before. Freedom to love deeply, to serve joyfully, and to live boldly. You are called to be a light in the darkness, a beacon of hope in a world desperate for truth and love. This calling is not reserved for a few, but extended to all who choose to follow me wholeheartedly. Do not underestimate the impact of your obedience. Every act of faith, no matter how small, sends ripples through eternity. Your life is a testimony, a living letter that others read with their eyes and hearts. In this journey, humility will be your companion. Recognize that all good things come from me and that your strength is perfected in weakness. Let go of pride and self-reliance and embrace dependence on me. As you do, you will find joy, not the fleeting happiness of circumstances, but a deep, abiding joy rooted in my presence. This joy will sustain you through trials and be a witness to those around you. You may face seasons of waiting where answers seem delayed and progress feels slow. Do not despair. Waiting is a sacred space where faith grows and character is refined. Use this time to deepen your relationship with me and prepare for what lies ahead. Your prayers are powerful and effective when aligned with my will. Continue to seek me earnestly, trusting that I hear every word and am working all things for your good. As you walk forward, be mindful of your thoughts. Guard your mind against negativity, fear, and doubt. Fill it instead with truth, hope, and promises I have spoken over you. Your words have power. Speak life over yourself and others. Declare hope, healing, and victory. Your confession shapes your reality and invites my power to work in and through you. You will also learn to embrace the mystery of faith. Not everything will be clear or easy to understand. Trust me in the unknown, knowing that I hold the future and that my plans are perfect. Your journey is unique. Do not compare yourself to others or measure your progress by their standards. I have tailored a path specifically for you with challenges and blessings designed to shape you into the person I created you to be. Remember that love is the greatest commandment and the highest calling. Let love guide your actions, decisions, and relationships. Love is patient, kind, and enduring. It heals wounds and builds bridges. As you grow in love, you will also grow in compassion. Reach out to those who are hurting, lost, or broken. Be my hands and feet in a hurting world. Your acts of kindness and mercy reflect my heart. You will encounter challenges that test your resolve. Stand firm, knowing that I am with you always. My strength is made perfect in your weakness. Lean on me, and you will not be shaken. Your faith journey is not a solitary climb, but a communal ascent. Engage with others who share your passion for truth and holiness. Together you can encourage, support, and spur one another on. Be open to correction and teaching. Humble yourself to learn and grow. Wisdom comes from a teachable heart and a spirit willing to be shaped. As you mature spiritually, you will develop discernment, the ability to distinguish between truth and error, light and darkness. This gift will protect you and guide your steps.